Good morning. Digital revolution and what is changing in the life of people. We have seen the computer leaving the air-conditioned rooms to become smaller and smaller, to become a desktop and to end up in our pockets. That's not it all. In the first few years of the next millennium, you will be able to have devices, wearing devices, communicating through satellites, having power greater than the personal computer we have today. This is a quotation. This is a quotation from the director and the founder of the MIT, Nicholas Negroponte. He wrote these words in 1945, some years ago. We are almost there. We have not reached the power announced, but really the power and the digital transformation of these devices are a concrete reality. And I would like to mention some examples during my presentation. But let me start from the humankind. What is the scenario we will be asked we will be confronted with in the future, and what we are doing with SAP, with our partners, Intel, for example? We have important challenges in front of us. We are going to have an increasing number of people living on Earth in a very short period of time, and we will be able to live longer. The 9 billion inhabitants by 2050, 2 billion of whom will be over 60. In 2020, 73% of all deaths will be caused by chronic diseases. That means that there is an unavoidable trend in the way in which our societies are evolving. What is the place of SAP in all this? Many of you may know what SAP is. Some of you may know what SAP is. I would like to resort to a metaphor which has already been used by the colleague from Novartis to say that SAP is the Pokemon Go of the companies. It helps companies to walk, to run, to become competitive. It's a tool, it's an instrument which over the last 40 years has transformed many companies in the world into competitive companies. SAP is a global company. And today through our system, we can measure 65% of the global GDP. 75% of the global GDP is managed by SAP systems. What's the place of SAP in the health sector? What is the connection? Over the last few years, we have been working to transform the way in which companies are working, and we have learned that our technology is at the very center of a complex mechanism of evolution, including also the medicine sector. With our technology, we can offer our customers a greater ability to understand the phenomena, to simplify, and to issue diagnoses to treat and prevent diseases better. Of course, we work together with our partners to do all that, to achieve all this. But over the last few months, we have focused on research, on personalized medicine, and on what we define as connected care, i.e. to provide care to people who have diseases such as cancer, HIV, AIDS, or diabetes. Well, what is the scenario we are faced with today? This is our view. First of all, In the past, a lot has been said about the need for the healthcare system to put the patient at the center. Some IT solutions have been found, and these IT solutions represented the necessity to shift the attention from the functioning process to the patient. And the electronic patient records were developed, the ability to collect data on the patients in a digital format with digital records. But now we think that the patient is at the very center of a value chain. That means that the actors of this value chain should focus on the outcome, on the expected outcome, on the outcome which is research. That does not mean taking data to the center, but rather taking the person to the center as a person has to be taken care of. Then we have the evolution of technologies. I've already mentioned Negroponte, who more than 20 years ago envisaged the fact that these things were going to happen. Now we are speaking about the Internet of Things, the possibility of connecting devices to the network and to the person to collect data. We are not just speaking in terms of big data today, but also in terms of smart data, the ability of the systems to interpret the information outside the data. Data are nothing without the information. As a professor at the university used to say, you can torture data so much that they confess. So we have really have to make them confess. We have a strong speeding up of the life cycle of drugs, driving new treatments and new protocols. The very fact that we have to develop a system around these dynamics is as relevant and as important as the rest. And the last thing I would like to mention is that today technologies are making distances shorter, not just for information, but also for interactions. During the conference, some cases have been presented. But of this dynamic of the healthcare system, we would like to sum up in this sentence. The healthcare system, we believe, is at a Gutenberg moment. We are moving from writing to printing in the healthcare system. This is radically changing the ways in which today things can be done, and very rapidly so. And I will repeat some example. And it is changing it, and we are working with our customers to reimagine the possible scenario, because, as has already been said before, economic sustainability is key. Technology is affecting these dynamics, and patients themselves feel that more and more at the very center of this revolution. Being digital today is very simple. What we intend to do is to measure the results on a patient at a sustainable cost. And this can be done today. How? By reimagining the working modalities or modes. I would like to mention 3 examples. For example, connecting the medical chain, transforming the big data issue to something which can be used on the field, i.e. smart data, and taking the patients, or putting the patient at the center. Connecting the medical chain, first example. SAP is working at a project of co-innovation together with the American Society for Clinical Oncology, ASCO, which was mentioned in the previous by the previous speaker. We are working with them to develop this cancer link, which is already in operation with 30 members, which has the objective of making millions of electronic records available, of course, in an anonymous way and streamlined. This is one of the great issues about digitalization in all cases, and all the more so in the healthcare sector, because we are playing with the health of people. Now we have about 1 million records. In 2015, we had checked 500 patients. In other words, 500,000, sorry. So the idea is to share an important database with the data of the patients and the pooling of the patients themselves, so as to perform any kind of analysis, whether it is on the treatment applied to the patients, but also including the genome of the patients themselves. In other words, the objective is that of sharing this information in a simple and usable way. This is the interface for the users. You can download, analyze, and assess a whole number of information data that can then be used for research purposes. The second theme I would like to tell you something about is the transformation of big data into smart data, and I have a video. I hope the audio is, the sound is connected, and I would like to show you this video.
Oncological center in Germany. Over 10,000 new cancer patients are treated here per year, over 450 a day. Cancer research, treatment, and prevention are connected under one roof. The results are directly integrated into the patient's therapy and used worldwide. In close collaboration with SAP, NCT has become a global leader in personalized cancer treatment.
The idea is that you identify what is actually happening in the cells of that patient compared to their normal tissue. So what has actually changed so that a tissue became a cancer?
So how can personalized medicine make the difference in cancer therapy? SAP and NCT are thinking big. They analyze the cancer patient's genomes and then compare it to other cancer patients' data to find the best treatment for this individual patient.
So genome is about 3 billion base pairs, so it is a puzzle with, if you wish, 3 billion pieces. So you need a very performant computer to be able to do the calculations of putting the puzzle back together. And that is exactly what we're trying to use HANA for.
Big data analysis is key in the fight against cancer. That's why SAP and NCT co-innovated the award-winning application Medical Research Insights, based on SAP HANA.
SAP HANA has the speed and capacity to actually carry a second copy of everything that is happening into a type of a data warehouse, a type of a data market that you can then use to find and retrieve all this information much easier and in real time.
Started as a research and co-innovation project, Medical Research Insights has now been adopted by the NCT as well as by the German Cancer Research Center and the University Hospital Heidelberg. They have invested into a new genome sequencing unit with high-speed machines.
It's only made possible by the combination of medical progress, science, and technology. And if all that comes together in one super impactful way, in combination with SAP and NCT, and of course molecular health, I think we have a chance to really win this battle. And since our vision is to help the world run better and improve people's lives, I can think of no more important battle to win.
Together, SAP and NCT are bringing personalized cancer treatment to a global level.
Wouldn't it be nice to know that the work we do together here in Germany in some way impacts people everywhere? And that is our goal, that's our ambition, and let's go for it.
Ok, ultimo esempio che vi volevo.
Yet another example after NCT, after this video, is another application which has been transformed by SAP, which is called Health Engagement, which gives the possibility of reducing the value chain length and creating a link between the patients and the health institutions in a seamless way with the use of the technologies. And thank you to our platforms, which are in the cloud, it is possible to connect the patients and the doctors and to have, together with the collected data, a real-time suggestion for the best treatment of the chronic diseases, as I said earlier on. At the very center, or at the epicenter of this revolution, we have something which makes all this possible, and this is the change we have introduced, is this technology which has been developed by the SAP labs over the last 5 years. It's now available on the market, and it's an extraordinary solution. You have a technology using market components, but which can have a very high performance in a very few seconds, can scan the human genome, can aggregate 1 million of data to find the correlations to this data, and can collect information and data at a record speed. This allows for the possibility of having a computing platform which can work and reduce the time required for the processing of the data needed to detect the right treatment. That is why we have decided to take part in this conference. It is necessary to, and this is my call, the call I present to all of you. Yearly we have to launch on the Italian territory a common action to be able to pursue this target, i.e. to increase the time required on cancer research to bring hope to millions of patients suffering from these diseases. Because our CEO said that our main goal is that to offer a better way of functioning for all the companies in the world and to improve the life of people. So thank you very much. Thank you.